Hello everyone and welcome to your own channel. Today I'm recording this video based on the suggestion of Mr. Safir Ahmad, one of our followers on our YouTube channel. He suggested that I should record a video about reduced adjective clauses in all 12 tenses. And this is what you see on the screen. This is your own channel. If you've got any confusion with any grammatical points, feel free to make your suggestions in the comment section below. I'm gonna be trying my best to record specific videos based on your suggestions. But please be patient. Once you make a suggestion, in the future there's going to be a video recorded based on your suggestion, but it will take some time, so therefore I request that you should be patient. So reduce adjective clauses in all 12 tenses. Let's begin with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First, the three simple tenses, and after that the three continuous tenses, then the three perfect tenses, and finally the three perfect continuous tenses. So now for each tense I've brought one example. The three simple tenses. Look at the first example. Clause, the first sentence is clause, the second sentence is a phrase. And keep in mind that a clause is a group of words which has a subject and main verb, okay? But sometimes it gives a complete meaning, sometimes it does not give a complete meaning. If it's independent clause, it gives a complete meaning. If it's dependent clause, it does not give a complete meaning. Now here, our adjective clauses in these complex sentences are dependent clauses. Therefore, they do not give complete meaning if they are used alone, if they are not used as a part of a complex sentence. Okay, so look at the first example. The boy who follows my channel is from Pakistan. So who follows my channel? Who follows my channel? This is your adjective clause, and it's a clause because it has subject. The word who, the relative pronoun who, functions here as a subject, and then main verb follows. But a phrase doesn't have to have the pair of subject and verb. So how do we change this to a modifying phrase, to a reduced adjective clause or a modifying phrase? Look, remove the relative pronoun who, get rid of it, okay, and change the verb to ing form, and it becomes a reduced adjective clause or a modifying phrase. Now look here, the boy following my channel is from Pakistan. Following my channel is not a clause anymore because it doesn't have the pair of subject and verb, and it's just like a present participle adjective phrase. Now okay, so now look at the second example. That was simple present tense, and this second example is made according to simple past tense. The girl who came here yesterday looked nervous. So who came here yesterday, this is your adjective clause in simple past tense. And the girl coming here yesterday, looked nervous. Sorry, I've repeatedly written the word here. Coming here yesterday is not a clause anymore, so you remove the relative pronoun who and you change verb came to ing form, base form come, and then you give it ing coming, and it becomes a phrase or reduced adjective clause. The girl coming here yesterday looked nervous. Now the third example is in simple future tense. The Prime Minister who will visit Kabul next week is Imran Khan. Who will visit Kabul next week? This is your adjective clause, and now you want to change it to a reduced adjective clause or reduced form or whatever you call it, a modifying phrase or adjective phrase. Okay, so remove who, the relative pronoun who, and remove will as well, this auxiliary, this helping verb will, and change main verb visit to ing form. It becomes a reduced adjective clause or modifying phrase. So the Prime Minister visiting Kabul next week is Imran Khan. So in all these three simple tenses, what you do, you remove the relative pronoun and you change to verb the main verb to ing form, and it becomes a modifying phrase or adjective phrase or reduced adjective clause. So I hope it's clear. So if you're kind of wondering, like, how do I know whether this adjective clause was reduced from simple present tense or simple past or simple future? Usually you know that because of a sort of time expression. Okay, like here you see yesterday, so you know that coming here yesterday, this, I mean, phrase, the adjective clause that were reduced was in simple past tense because there's the time expression yesterday, or next week over here that you see. So because of this time expression, you know that, this modifying phrase was reduced from an adjective clause that was in simple future tense. So this is how it works. Now the three progressive tenses. Look at the first example. There's a clause. The man who is staring at you, the man who is staring at you has a mental disorder. So who is staring at you? This is your adjective clause in present continuous tense. And it's pretty easy. Just remove the relative pronoun who and the to be verb is, and leave the rest of it, and it becomes a modifying phrase. So look at the second sentence. The man staring at you has a mental disorder. Staring at you is not a clause anymore because it doesn't have the pair of subject and verb. I hope it's clear. So now look at the second example. The movie that was playing on TV at 10 p.m. was amazing. So that's past continuous tense. So what you do, you remove the relative pronoun that and the to be verb was, and you leave the rest of the clause alone, and it becomes a modifying phrase. So now look at the second example. The movie playing on TV at 10 p.m. was amazing. So playing on TV at 10 p.m. is not a clause anymore. As I said before, there's no the subject and verb, and it's just a modifying phrase. And finally, look at the last example. Biden, who will be visiting India next week, is a president. So who will be visiting India next week is your adjective clause and the tenses, future continuous tense. So what you do, you remove this relative pronoun who, you remove the auxiliary verb will, and you also remove the helping verb be. And it becomes just a modifying phrase. Now look at the second sentence. Biden visiting India next week is a president. Okay, so now visiting India next week is not an adjective clause anymore. It is a reduced adjective clause, or in other words, it's a modifying phrase. Now the three perfect tenses. Again, number one, class. The man who has done MBA in Pakistan is my relative. The man who has done MBA in Pakistan is my relative. So what you do, you remove, the relative pronoun who, and you change this helping verb has to its ing form, which is having, and then you bring the rest of the class. So look here at the second sentence. The man having done MBA in Pakistan is my relative. So this is how you change, an adjective clause to modifying phrase if present perfect tense is used there. Now look at the second example, which is in past perfect tense. Class. The man who had done MBA in Pakistan before 2010 is my relative. And now we're trying to change it to a modifying phrase or reduced adjective clause. So again, get rid of the relative pronoun who, and change the helping verb had to its ing form, which is again having. Okay. So who had done MBA in Pakistan before 2010, and here you say the man having done MBA in Pakistan before 2010 is my relative. Now you may be kind of wondering that having done here and having done here, I don't see any difference. Yes, that's right, but if you pay attention to the rest of the class, there's a kind of time expression, so before 2010. So this time expression tells us that this adjective phrase or this modifying phrase was reduced from an adjective clause that was in past perfect tense, because we use past perfect tense when we talk about the completion of an action before a specific time or another action in the past. So if you're an advanced student or an English teacher, this concept should be clear to you. Okay, and finally, future perfect tense class. The man who will have done MBA in Pakistan before 2030 is my relative. Okay, I've brought the same concept in all these three examples. Okay, but the point is that there it says will have done before 2030 or who had done before 2000. There's a difference. Okay, so it's future perfect tense, but I mean the year 2010, now it's 2021. So obviously, if we see 2010, we know that we talk about something in the past, but when we see 2030, we know that we talk about something that's in the future. So I hope this concept is also clear. So the man who will have done MBA in Pakistan before 2030 is my relative. Okay, remove the relative pronoun who, remove the auxiliary verb will, and change have to ing form having, and that's all. So the man having done MBA in Pakistan before 2030 is my relative. I hope it's also clear. Now, finally, we have the three perfect continuous tenses. The three perfect continuous tenses. Okay, let me see. There's a bug, I think. Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. That's gonna be done quickly. Okay, I will just do this. Okay, so the three perfect progressive tenses. Now I want you to pay close attention because this part could be somehow even more complicated. Okay, so look, the family that has been living in Egypt for 3 years is from Iraq. So that has been living in Egypt for 3 years. This is our adjective class, and the tense is present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so the family living in Egypt for 3 years is from Iraq. Okay, so has been living in Egypt for 3 years. Okay, what you do here, you remove the relative pronoun that, you remove, I mean, the helping verb has, and you also remove the helping verb been, and then you leave the rest of the adjective class alone, and it becomes a reduced adjective class like here. Okay, living in Egypt for 3 years. It's not a class anymore because it doesn't have the pair of subject and a verb. Okay, but if it's past perfect continuous tense, so there's a difference now. The family that had been living in Egypt for 3 years before 2010 is from Iraq. The family having lived in Egypt for 3 years before 2010 is from Iraq. Here we need perfective form of gerund. Okay, and the perfect form of gerund is having plus main verb in third form past participle. So we cannot say the family having been living in Egypt for 3 years before. No, that wouldn't be a phrase, okay? Because that becomes kind of your like main verb form, and then you need a subject. But when you change, I mean, your adjective class to modifying phrase, and that is past perfect continuous tense. So this is how you can do it. So what you do here, you remove the relative pronoun that, had as well, I mean the helping verb, and been, and you change, I mean had to its ing form having, and then you change main verb to past participle form. The family having lived in Egypt for 3 years before 2010 is from Iraq. And the same thing over here, the family that will have been living in Egypt for 3 years before 2030 is from Iraq. And you do the same thing, you get rid of, I mean, the relative pronoun that, you remove will as well, you change have to its ing form to its gerund form having, and you get rid of been as well, and you change living, I mean the main verb ing, to past participle form or third form. And this is how you change this kind of, I mean, adjective class and future perfect continuous tense to a reduced adjective class or modifying phrase. The family having lived in Egypt for 3 years before 2030 is from Iraq. So I hope the concept is clear. Okay, and I hope you won't have any problems with the reduction of adjective classes to modifying phrases in all 12 tenses. If you have liked this video, please subscribe to the channel so that you can receive more useful videos like this in the future. And if you have got any confusion, if there's any question, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below. And if you like the video, that's gonna be a great idea. If you write your comment, that's also be a great idea. If you share this with your friends, that's going to be even better. Okay, have a great time for now, and